time to take a look at the GM screen, the game mother screen. It doesn't look very clear, and that's because it actually isn't, combined with the fact that we've got reflections from being outside. But it's actually not very clear. It's very, very subtle artwork here on the back of the screen. But, you know, this is the main reason you'd be here looking at this, the actual GM side. So for a quick look at, you know, what we get on these 3 sections, and you know how they've been laid out. And the first thing that comes to mind is, well, you know, we've got some gaps here and things that could have been shifted to fit maybe another column of stuff in if all of this was a bit tighter. Okay. And then I see a big gap here that could have had more in. So stuff shifted up towards the edges a little bit more. Obviously it's working a little bit more sort of spacious, luxurious in this way by having the information balance like this. So we'll have a quick look at what we actually get. We have measuring time, which is a handy little reminder here. So, you know, a round is 5 to 10 seconds, primarily combat. A turn is 5 to 10 minutes, usually for stealth, the exploration stuff. And then you do all those things like supply rolls and all the other stuff when a turn has ended. And then, of course, a shift to like do a big repair on something or something like that. Or primarily on recovery, so repairing would be recovering an item, for instance, wouldn't it? A chart here for the sneak attacks and ambushes, handy to have that. Anything where there's a chart, obviously these screens are good for. Difficulty modification, that I would question the inclusion of, to be honest. I don't think that's needed, because you don't necessarily need someone to say that the thing is trivial, simple, or whatever. And who's going to remember to say to the players, oh, it's +3 because it's trivial? You just let them have it if it's trivial, usually, don't you? It's like, and formidable -3, -2, -1. I was using this system just instinctively, not thinking about it actually being the word. Forming, this task is hard. Oh no, this one's formidable. You just go like, oh, this is about a -3. Oh, this is a -1. You don't think in terms of any of this. So that I'd question the usage of. And there are some other things that I would put on here instead, which, as I said before, is always the case with these GM screens, isn't it? This is handy. This is very good to have here. The difference between the slow actions and the fast actions. And I'm glad they've got that all in one go here without having to cross into the next screen. Being that you can do 1 slow and 1 fast per turn, or 2 fast. So that's good that we've got this here as something to tell the players. We've got the critical injuries chart, which takes up a whole section on its own, which is a big deal. It is a big deal. Yeah, okay. Panic roll over on this screen. This is a really big deal again. So it's another chart. We need charts, of course. Ranged fire modification. That's handy. That's something I've used a lot in Mutant, so that's very good. And we've got like the light conditions and stuff like that as well. And then the range categories, what they mean and how they work, and then you look at that to figure that out. So in terms of zones, remember, like a room or a corridor or something, that's a zone. And then types of cover and the kind of armor rating they add to your other armor, i.e. base dice you can roll 6s, and 6s negate damage. So if you're covering behind a piece of shrubbery and you happen to be a knight that says knee, then you get to roll 2 on top of your plate armor, being a knight, extra, and try and roll 6s to negate as much damage as you can. So what would I put in? So what I see straight away when I look at this whole stress section, I look at, well, the factors that create stress automatically that aren't story based ones, the sort of ones where you're going to be left hanging. It's like reminders, oh, someone's used full auto fire, that's a stress, remember. And it would be nice to point that out to the players rather than them having to remember, because you know, some players are not very good at remembering things that are a detriment to themselves. You know, so it'd be nice to have these kind of things. Oh, that causes a stress, this causes, you get hit in combat, that causes a stress. Teammate, a crewmate attacks you, that causes a stress. You see, you know, and the actual effects that also demand an immediate panic roll without you having to roll a 1. The things that just auto panic roll you, like seeing a monster of some kind that you've never seen before, auto panic roll. It would be nice to see those conditions here, what, you know, what they are as a reminder. Little bit of like the rules for healing, the recovery, getting back up, and that might be nice. And how like the death roll, little reminder on the death roll would be nice. That sort of business would all be good. Maybe a little thing about how to actually stop panic, just a reminder that it's, you can use the command roll to do it, or if you are broken, or if a turn passes, a turn being 5 to 10 minutes. Those 3 things stop the panic if it doesn't already stop via what it says on the list here, right? And you know, the things that relieve stress. These are the things that are going to come up a lot. Oh, you remember you can relieve a stress, guys, now because you've met such and such. You know, I've got it's not here, so I have to, you know, go to the book, but I can't go to the book because I don't know to look for it in the book if I'm not thinking at the time. So it's like, it'd be nice if it's a reminder. So it's almost feeling like I'm going to have to do a little bit of my stick on, glue on, extra bits kind of malarkey business that I do here, and have some extra charts. I'll probably have to print out some extra chart stuff for the hazards. There's a lot of hazards in these games, it being survival based. Starving, dehydrated, exhausted, and vacuum, and freezing, and falling, is all this sort of business that it goes through. You know, you can't remember the rules for all that offhand. So it's your first session or whatever. You'd like to be able to go in and be able to have quick access to it. So it's more going to be with one of those, you know, to actually look for it. So it'd be more on one of these sort of go to the rule book and, you know, put some tabs in there to, you know what the heck it is you're trying to find. So you know, a few things that I could do with additionally in there. Wouldn't it be nice if you had some sort of like little like pull-outs or something that would stay, you know, pulled out, and it stays pulled up or something, you know, patent Rob. Yeah, you know, that's the GM screen. Make of it what you will. It's pretty good. I'd say it's 90% good. And you know, some GM screens can be hilariously stupid, where you look at a lot of stuff and you say, why is that here, why is that here, why is that here? And the only thing that I've identified wrong here is maybe the difficulty chart, and maybe this great big gap here. So I would probably look at sticking something over the pair of them straight away. Hi ho! So, see you at the next one.